Hello students, today let me start the new chapter of history, that is era of Gandhi and national movement. In this chapter let me learn the life of Gandhi, Gandhiji's beginning, struggle in India, the achievements of Gandhiji, inner life, Jallianwala Bagh massacre, Khilafat movement, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, Round Table Conference, Jayaprakash Narayan, Subhash Chandra Bose and Indian National Army, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and his reformation, Jawaharlal Nehru, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Now let me start the introduction, that is Mahatma Gandhi ji has played important role in Indian freedom movement. The thoughts of Gandhiji and his philosophical and ideas were the base for the struggle for this movement, and the period between 1920 to 1947 is called as Gandhian era, and Gandhiji popularly called as Bapu. Early life and growth. The real name of Gandhiji was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and he was born on 2nd October 1869 in Porbandar of present-day Gujarat Kathiawar district, and his parents were Karamchand Gandhi and Putlibai. They were the parents of Gandhiji. In picture you can see Putlibai and Karamchand. Gandhiji completed his basic education at Porbandar. In his native place, he was completed his primary education. After getting primary education, he went to England for his higher studies in the year 1888 for to get law education, and after completed his law education, he was returned to India. In 1893, Gandhiji went to Natal. It is a province of South Africa. There he was intended to be at Natal only for 3 months, but he ended up living in South Africa for 20 long years. In map you can see that Natal, it is one of the province in South Africa. And later, after that, Gandhiji went to England in the year 1888. As I told you that there he was stayed for 20 more years. Next, what Gandhiji was there when he was returned to India. Again later he went to Natal of South Africa to represent Dada Abdullah. Dada Abdullah, one of the businessmen in South Africa. Though Gandhiji is intended to be at Natal only for 3 months, he ended up living in South Africa for 20 long years. There he was opposed to the apartheid policy, that discriminating between dark skin and light skin peoples, and he invented a new tools of protest called Satyagraha and formulated its do's and don'ts. Many South Africans feel proud to say that, or to declare that, you sent us unformed Gandhi and we sent back the complete of Gandhiji. Now let me see the next, that is Gandhiji in India, that is initial protest. Mahatma Gandhiji's political guru or political teacher was Gopal Krishna Gokhale. In picture you can see he was his political guru, and he toured. Gandhiji was travelled entire India in third class railway compartment to understand the real India of his time, to understand the problems of India. He travelled entire North India or entire India, and he gave an institutional shape to his struggle by establishing Sabarmati Ashram, one of the famous ashram which was established, or it is considered the institutional for the struggle, at Sabarmati Ashram at Ahmedabad in the year 1916. Okay. Next, he understood the problems of farmers, Dalit, tribal people, workers, laborers, and other sections of Indian society. In the year 1917, Gandhiji launched Champaran movement in support of indigo growers and made the British government accept his demands of the farmers. Okay, this is the first movement which was led by the Gandhiji. After Champaran movement, another movement was led by the Gandhiji in the year 1918 called in support of mill workers of Ahmedabad, and here also the British government accepted his demand. And in the same year, another protest held in Kheda village of Gujarat to oppose land taxes, and is also become successful. The three important movements were led by the Gandhiji, and all three movements were got succeeded. And Gandhiji later started using truth, non-violence, and satyagraha ideals in all these movements. Gandhiji started using these all the things as weapons in the movement, in all three movements. And Gandhiji used to express his thoughts in periodicals like Young India and Harijan. These both were the two important periodicals. Through these periodicals, Gandhiji expressed his thoughts. Now the next meaningful achievements of Gandhiji's struggle, very important. The first one is Satyagraha, second one is Ahimsa, third one is unity of Hindu and Muslim. These all the three were the very important achievements of the Gandhiji's struggle, meaningful achievements of the Gandhiji's struggle. The first one is the Satyagraha. Here Satyagraha is one of the major method of protest of Gandhiji. The word Satyagraha means the assertion of truth. Assertion is nothing but the confident, or we can say forceful statement of fact or belief. So here the meaning of Satyagraha was, Satyagraha means the assertion of truth, and it was one of the major weapon he employed in South Africa also, and there he was succeeded, and it is his moral weapon, whose Gandhiji's. Next, second one is Ahimsa. Ahimsa is the basic trait of Gandhiji's struggle. He firmly believed that one should face violence with Ahimsa and Satyagraha. Gandhiji employed motherly strategies such as Ahimsa, Satyagraha, and fasting against the brutal forces of British. Brutal means harsh forces of British, like military, police, and law. Next, third one, unity of Hindu and Muslim. Gandhiji believed that without the unity of Hindu and Muslim, it is too difficult to achieve the freedom, and also it become difficult to survive as nation in the future. You see that before only the Gandhiji was said that without the unity of Hindu and Muslim, then in nation the man can survive. It is too difficult to survive as nation in the future, he said before. And during Khilafat movement, Gandhiji was proved by giving the support to the Khilafat movement. The Congress expressed its support. It has proved that the unity among Hindu and Muslim. Next is the circumstances that supported civil disobedience movement. The first one is Jallianwala Bagh massacre, very important incident in the history. Remember that the British implemented Rowlatt Act in 1919. When was Rowlatt Act was implemented by the Britishers means in the year 1919. For MCQ question this can ask. The Britishers implemented the Rowlatt Act. Through this act, the Britishers were started to controlling the nationalists. Why they implemented this act means just to control on a nationalist, to control the national peoples or freedom peoples. The Britishers were implemented this Rowlatt Act. And according to this act, under this act, the Britishers can arrest a man without any reasons. They can arrest the person and they can declare him as an offender in a court of law. So the Gandhiji formed an association called Satyagraha Sabha to oppose this Rowlatt Act. Gandhiji had called for one-day Hartal on 6th April 1919 to opposing this Rowlatt Act, and Dr. Fakhruddin and Dr. Satyapal and various other leaders were arrested in Punjab. During the time of doing Hartal, these both the peoples or the other peoples got arrested by the Britishers, and to protest these arrests, the people had assembled in Jallianwala Bagh on 13 April 1919 on the day of Baisakhi festival. On the same, the military general of Amritsar, General Dyer, here you can see that General Dyer fired at the peaceful assembled peoples. Here the peaceful assembled, the peoples, what the peoples were there? They were assembled here. You can see here the peoples were assembled. On the order of General Dyer, the army or the soldiers, they were shooted on these innocent peoples. They killed the many innocent peoples in these Jallianwala Bagh massacres. Around 380 protesters were killed and thousands were injured. Later, this incident saddened the people like Gandhiji and others. They were become very sad by this incident because many people were killed and thousands were injured. Gandhiji and others were become sad by this incident. So the military rule was implemented in Punjab after this incident, and Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood award back, opposing this middleless violence. The what Rabindranath Tagore is it? He was returned his award which he was got by the Britishers, and this became the reason for the launch of non-cooperation movement by the Gandhiji. And later Udham Singh, Shaheed Udham Singh, a revolutionary, he killed General Dyer in England. Next, Khilafat movement. The Sultan of Turkey were also the religious leader of Turkey. The Sultan of Turkey were there. They were called as the religious leaders of Turkey, and they were called as caliphs. During the First World War, the Britishers harassed the caliphs, and this was widely protested by the Muslims of the world. Muhammad Ali Jinnah in India, Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Shaukat Ali, two brothers, they started the Khilafat movement in support of Turkey in 1919. These both were the two brothers who started Khilafat movement in India to support the Turki sultans. And Gandhiji had believed that the British would only withdraw if the Hindu and Muslims fight united. Here the unity among the Hindu and Muslim is a very necessary. So because of this reason, Gandhiji extended his support to this movement, and he wanted an active participation on the part of Muslim in the Congress. This was a movement where both Hindu and Muslim participated in a national wide, where they has given that support to this movement. Next, non-cooperation movement. The Congress held its special national convention in Calcutta on September 4, 1920. The Congress passed a resolution to hold non-cooperation movement in Calcutta Convention. Now the aims. What are the aims of non-cooperation movement? This question can ask for the 2 marks. What are the aims? The first aim of the non-cooperation movement is to gain complete Swaraj through ahimsa. To gain the complete freedom through the ahimsa. This is the main aim of the non-cooperation movement. And second one is bring awareness, educating the peoples about the British for their harsh killing, preventing Jallianwala Bagh like incident in the future, opposing the British rule completely. These were the aims. Demanding of the non-cooperation movement were Withdraw Rowlatt Act, where they were arresting unnecessary peoples and putting the charge and presenting in the court that they should withdraw. Next, revolutionaries wanted reforms in the non-cooperation movement political system which would lead to the complete Swaraj. They want the complete freedom. Revolutionaries. Next, main programs of the non-cooperation movement. The first one is boycotting school and colleges and the court. All the students, they boycotted schools, colleges and the court by giving the support to Gandhiji in non-cooperation. Non-cooperation means not to cooperate Britishers, the meaning of it. So because of that reason, all the peoples, all the Indians were supported Gandhiji by boycotting the school, colleges and courts. Even boycotted elections to regional legislative bodies which held according to the Act of 1919. Returning the honors, like Rabindranath Tagore, he has returned his knighthood award to the Britishers. So the Indian people, they returned all the honors and the medals to the Britishers. Nominating members to the local bodies, resigning from their memberships, boycotting all the government work, boycotting all the foreign goods. Apart from this, encouraging the activities of handlooms, producing their own cloth, own khadi, because the khadi is the productions which was started by the Gandhiji. Gandhiji encouraged the production of khadi, open national schools, achieving unity among the Hindu and Muslims, eradicating untouchability. Low born system, what this system is there, totally it was prevented. Uplifting the women by empowering them, means giving the more importance to the women, educating them. Next, developments which has took during the time of non-cooperation movement. The first one is the many senior lawyers like Chittaranjan Das, Motilal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, they left their legal practices. This is the C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru and Rajendra Prasad. They left their legal practices just to give support to the Gandhiji non-cooperation movement. And students were also boycotted school and colleges. The Congress boycotted the elections of the Britishers where they were having the participation in the regional bodies. It is also left. Many national institutions like Kashi Vidyapeeth, Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Bihar Vidyapeeth and Jamia Millia Islamia Rashtriya Vidyalaya were established. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood. Common peoples and the women, they dominated library to the Congress. The shop selling foreign goods were boycotted and foreign clothes were burned. The visit of Prince of Wales in 1921 was opposed under this non-cooperation movement. Next, the impact of non-cooperation movement. Though many of its main aim remained unachieved, it created some deep impact. The freedom movement became people's movement where the all Indian peoples were supported the Gandhiji, and the Congress led movement took some revolutionary turns. The Hindu Muslims united, and the national freedom movement went beyond the boundaries of the cities and entered in every corner of the nation. They tried to remove the untouchability, and the entry of women into the public space were the notable achievements of this movement. Next was Chauri Chaura incident. Chauri Chaura is the name of the place. This place is in UP, that is in Uttar Pradesh. The incident which took place here, so it was called as a Chauri Chaura incident. Here you can see that it is one of the ground. This incident took place on 5th February 1922. It is a big group of around 3,000 farmers were assembled in front of the police station. they had assembled to protest against the police who had been beaten Congress workers when they were protesting in front of Arak shop. Arak, it is one of the shop, alcoholic spirit shop. When they were protesting in front of this shop, one of the policemen started shouting from inside the station. Enraged by this act, means the peoples became angry because one of the man was shooting from inside, so the peoples were burned the police station. The result, all the 22 policemen were burned to death, and such violent incidents were repeated in other places too. So the Gandhiji realized that this due to the lack of preparation and morality among the peoples to hold non-violent protest. The Gandhiji was withdrawn the non-cooperation movement on 12th February 1922. And the British holding Gandhiji responsible for this all the uprising violent, Britishers arrested Gandhiji on 10th March 1922 and he was imprisoned for 6 years. But later 2 years he was released because of Gandhiji's ill health. Next, Swaraj Party. The withdrawal of non-cooperation movement was saddened many congressmen. The congressmen were not happy by the decision of Gandhiji because the Gandhiji was withdrawal the non-cooperation movement. Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das, they advocated the withdrawal of boycott of legislative assemblies and re-entered the system again. And C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru proposed to enter the legislative assembly and create epidemics in the session. They were mentioned it because again they have got the re-entry in the legislative assemblies after withdrawal of the non-cooperation movement. And Swaraj Party was founded in 1923 by Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das. Very important question. When it was founded means Swaraj Party was founded in the year 1923 by Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das. And the election that were held in November 1923, Swaraj Party owned 42 seats of total 101. Next, civil disobedience movement. In 1930, the working committee of Congress met at Sabarmati Ashram and they passed the resolution to hold a civil disobedience movement. And in 1930, 2nd March, Gandhiji wrote letter to Viceroy. Viceroy was Irwin. Gandhiji wrote the Viceroy Irwin Viceroy demanding 11 points. Who was the Viceroy means remember Irwin was a Viceroy. To him Gandhiji was wrote the letter. In his letter he was demanded for 11 points. As the Viceroy rejected the letter, declared on 12th March 1930 that the Gandhiji would walk with the follower up to Dandi and the coastal areas of Gujarat. Because of this reason, he was led to the Dandi march on 12th March 1930 because the Viceroy Irwin, he was rejected the letter. Next is the Salt Satyagraha. Dandi March was also called as a Salt Satyagraha. To produce and to sell their own salt, the Gandhiji was led this Salt Satyagraha. On April 6, Gandhiji broke the law by holding a first full salt without paying the tax which the British had imposed on salt. Here in picture you can see that where the Gandhiji was holding the salt. He was opposed to pay the tax and many other leaders were supported the Gandhiji, that is Vijayalakshmi, Pandit Kamla Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajagopalachari, Babu Rajendra Prasad and other leaders were participated with Gandhiji in this Dandi march and they were arrested. Now the reasons for the beginning of civil disobedience movement. The first one is the British government appointed the Simon Commission in 1927. They appointed the Simon, and the Britishers were opposed of it. The commission was supposed to study. Why they appointed the Simon Commission means to study the effects of Indian Government Act of 1919. This 1919 Act was also called as Montague-Chelford Act. To study this effect of the Indian Government Act, they appointed the Simon Commission, and it was arrived in India on February 3, 1928, and the commission witnessed wide protest with the slogan "Simon go back," because the Indian don't want this Simon Commission. So they gave that slogan "Simon go back," and the Bandh and Hadtal were organized in different places like in Bombay, Lahore and Madras. In this Hadtal, Lala Lajpat Rai died when the protesters were lathi charged in Lahore, and this intensified the national freedom struggle further because Lala Lajpat Rai was called as Sher-e-Punjab, and the British government put forth an indirect challenge to the Indians to draft a constitution. See that how clever they are. The Britishers, when they has not control to the Indians, so they has put forth them the challenge that they can frame the Indian constitution, they can draft the Indian constitutions. And who was accepted this? The challenge was accepted by a committee headed by Motilal Nehru and its table report. They were accepted the challenge of Britishers to draft the Indian constitutions. Next, recommendation of Nehru's report. Dominant status for the India along with internal federal structure. The government at two level. It was put forward by the Nehru. Nehru was recommended the first report. Second one is abolished for the separate constituencies reserved for minorities, and this separate constituency reserved for minority, it was demanded by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. In Nehru's report it was abolished. It should be abolished. Creation of the language based regions out of British India, ensuring human rights to the Indian, implementation of the democratic traditions. In Lahore Congress Convention under the chairmanship of Jawaharlal Nehru, they adopted the demanding total independence, that is a complete freedom, Purna Swaraj. January 26th, 1930 was declared as the day of Independence Day, means Indian Independence Day, because they want the complete independence, total independence. In order to mark the historical importance of this session, the Constitution of India was adopted on January 26, 1950. Today also we are celebrating as the Republic Day. This is some of the reasons of the civil disobedience movement. In the next class, let we know about the round table conference, first round table conference and second round table conference. This we can study in the next class. Okay, thank you. Hope you understood.